Ho, ho, hola, mi amigos. Yo soy St.Christopher. This is The Woodsman, and this is The Writer's Block, a book review show where I tell you if a book is good enough that I would recommend it to a friend, or so bad that I would chop it in half with an axe. Today on The Writer's Block, 50 Shades Darker by E.L. James. And we are back onto the second book in the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. If you didn't finish the first one, don't worry, neither did I. Christian Grey, the eccentric billionaire, and Anastasia Steele, the timid workplace businesswoman who wants to go into publishing, have broken up. Oh, what a tragedy. Our first event where they meet back up is a big art gallery opening with our least favorite human being in the world, this fucking loser, Jose. That's right, Jose is back. Not only is Jose throwing a big art gallery opening, but he's showing off what a creepy weirdo he is by taking a bunch of pictures of Anastasia, unbeknownst to her, blowing them up, putting them in the gallery, and then selling them for his own profit. She's surprised by this, but there's another person in the art gallery. It's not Anastasia's big blown up photos, it's Christian Grey. And he has actually purchased all of these gigantic photos of Anastasia. The first part of this novel just seems like a very ungrounded rush through where you try to cram as much rich stuff into this book as you can. He's like, Anastasia, let's get away from this stupid art gallery. And they take a helicopter somewhere. That begins our book. And Christian Grey and Anastasia Steele are back together. But there's a problem. Anastasia wants a nice, normal relationship, and Christian wants to be kinky. However, there's also a second problem, which is in this book, Anastasia Steele starts calling Christian 50, as if it's his nickname, as if everybody calls him that. No, like, I've been reviewing like other like books by Curtis Jackson, and so when people are like, oh, 50's coming over, it's this conundrum of like, oh god, this nickname does not suit this man. As far as kinky sex goes, this book is probably a 2 out of 10. In about the first 200 pages, they have sex 4 times. It's the same thing over and over again. They're not tying each other up, they're not whipping each other, they're just kissing each other gently and having sex. He makes her climax and she breaks into a million different little pieces, and then he finishes and goes like, oh, and he falls down on top of her. Anastasia Steele might as well be called Humpty Dumpty because she keeps being broken into so many pieces. The kinkiest thing they do, shove a bunch of silver balls up Anastasia's pussy. It reminds me of that beautiful Christmas song, you know? Silver balls, he shoves them in her vagina. Now, this would be considered kinky. This would be considered groundbreaking, except apparently in the last book, they've already done this. So this is just a repeat. Boring! The gods are angry with this book. So, they keep having basic sex, and it's kind of like moved along very slowly. And my biggest problem with this book is it's not erotica. It is wealth porn. Christian Grey keeps trying to force Anastasia to let him buy her a car. And she's like, Christian, look, I'll pay you back. Like, this person is not as submissive. This is not what he wants. This is not the BDSM relationship that it's supposed to be. She just wants a regular relationship. She's like, hey, could you stop trying to buy me a car? However, he just keeps showering her. He's like, have a MacBook, have a car. I'm going to fly a helicopter. But here's the thing. This person is incredibly rich, but there's a scene where they're making dinner together. And she's like, could you chop this? Christian Grey doesn't know how to chop a pepper. Like, this is supposed to be like this cute thing. Is like, Christian, you don't know how to, you've never chopped vegetables before? No, I just have what kind of fucking moron doesn't know how to chop a vegetable? He's like, do I chop vegetables by throwing money at it? The main staple of this film is a big masquerade ball. It's on the front cover of this book. In that big masquerade party, she meets Christian's mother, his father, and his former dominant, Mrs. Robinson. Here's the thing. She's not a bad writer, but this book sucks. And I'm just going to break it down fundamentally why it is bad. There is a scene where they're in a limo. He goes, Anastasia, do you know how much money I make an hour? And she's like, duh. No, she's like, no, Christian, I don't. She might as well say that. Duh, I don't. I'm Anastasia Steele. I have absolutely no agency. Just throw money in my face. And he goes, I make $100,000 an hour. That's before this masquerade party. They get to the masquerade party, and there's an event where they pull all the women up on stage, and they have the men bid for them for their first dance, a gigantic metaphor for virginity. So it goes to this one girl, and they're just making shit up. It's like, she's a ballerina, she's been to space, and someone's like, I'll pay $500 for this first dance. I'll pay $700, and they get bid on. When Anastasia gets bid on, Christian goes like, I'll pay $10,000 for this dance. And then there's another guy in the background who goes, $15,000. And so it starts this competition, and she's getting nervous, like, oh my God, what if Christian can't afford me? And this is the point. If you didn't reveal how much money he made before the event, it would create tension, because you wouldn't know as the amount climbs higher if Christian could afford to buy her from this other opponent. However, when he says he makes $100,000 an hour before they start bidding, and he goes $10,000, you've already outweighed whatever amount he's going to put unless they start bidding in the millions. There is absolutely no tension. It is just this stupid wealth porn where you're putting a woman on a stage and having men throw money so they can dance with her. How stupid. What a stupid book. Bad book. Very bad book. So it's this boring book where they're just having regular sex. There is a plot, and this is a gigantic side plot. Christian has a crazy ex-lover who keeps showing up and slashing Anna's tires. However, I'm on page 202. They haven't really had a confrontation yet. I'm bored. There's another 300 pages to go. This book does not make it off the block.